Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive.
Glad to be back.
Today, we're going to be talking about something pretty heavy.
Yeah, no kidding.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October 1962.
Probably one of the tensest moments in human history.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this was the closest the world has ever come to, well, nuclear war.
Right. I mean, we all know the basic story, but I was hoping we could, really dig into some of the specifics.
Yeah, definitely.
Just how close did we get to total annihilation?
Closer than anyone would like to think.
So, okay, let's set the scene. It's 1962. The Cold War is in full swing.
Right. The U.S. and the Soviet Union are locked in this ideological struggle.
And they both have enough nuclear weapons to,
Wipe out the planet several times over.
Several times over, that's right. So then we get to this point where U.S. reconnaissance planes spot something really alarming in Cuba.
Soviet nuclear missile installation.
Whoa. Hold on, Cuba.
Yep. Just 90 miles off the coast of Florida.
Practically in America's backyard. So what was their game plan? What were the Soviets thinking?
Well, from a strategic standpoint, it was a pretty bold move. I mean, these missiles could have hit most major U.S. cities in minutes.
Minutes?
Yeah, minutes. It would have completely shifted the balance of power.
Oh, man. Just imagine the pressure on President Kennedy.
He was in an impossible position.
Right. On the one hand, you've got the potential for World War III, a nuclear one at that.
Right. And on the other hand, doing nothing, just letting those missiles sit there, that was not really an option either.
Talk about a rock in a hard place.
So he went with a third option.
Okay, I'm listening.
What they called a naval quarantine, but let's be real, it was a blockade.
Right, a blockade. So basically, they were stopping Soviet ships from bringing in more missiles, but without actually attacking them.
Exactly. It was a way to apply pressure without escalating things, at least not immediately.
But I imagine it was still incredibly tense, right? Like, what if the Soviets just, decided to push through the blockade?
It was a huge gamble, and it could have gone very wrong. But it also bought some time. Time for negotiations, back-channel talks, all of that.
So while the ships are out there scaring each other down, what's happening behind the scenes?
A lot of frantic diplomacy. I mean, think about it. We had Robert Kennedy meeting with the Soviet ambassador in secret. We had messages being relayed through all kinds of intermediaries. Even Thant, the UN Secretary General, he was trying to broker some kind of deal.
It's like something out of a spy movie.
Absolutely.
So how did we actually get out of this mess?
Well, it took some serious compromise. Ultimately, Khrushchev agreed to dismantle the missile sites in Cuba.
Okay, so crisis averted, right?
Yeah.
Everyone can breathe a sigh of relief.
Well, not so fast. Because the U.S. had to make a concession, too. Publicly, they promised not to invade Cuba.
Clever.
But there was this, secret part of the agreement.
Oh, what was that?
The U.S. also agreed to remove its own missiles from Turkey.
Ah, okay, I see. Because those missiles were a threat to the Soviets, just like the Cuban missiles were a threat to the U.S.
Exactly. It was a quid pro quo.
It's just wild to think about, how close we came to utter destruction.
The world was literally holding its breath for those 13 days.
13 days.
13 days.
And it all came down to, a handful of people making decisions in smoky back rooms.
That's right. It really underscores the enormous responsibility that comes with leadership, especially in times of crisis.
Something we all need to think about,
Absolutely.
What are the choices that we're making? How are we handling our disagreements? Because, even today, we've got all these global challenges.
Right. And we need to be really careful, really thoughtful about how we approach them.
Because who knows? The next crisis might be just around the corner.
And we might not be so lucky next time.
I think that's a great note to end on. Something for everyone to ponder.
Until next time.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.